Sigma men are lone wolves. It is therefore a no-brainer that they would prefer to be left alone than socialize. But it is much more than just what they want. There are good reasons why Sigma men avoid and even fear socializing. You heard that right, my boy. Sigma men actually fear socializing, but not the way you think. You will get to understand why later in this video. First things first, subscribe to the channel, because this is where I say it as it is. No sugarcoating the truth here. Number 1. It is a waste of their time. Time is extremely important to Sigma men. They just don't want anyone to waste their precious time. Now, I need to clear a lot of misconceptions first. Sigma men are not antisocial. They are not introverts in the real sense. Whatever the Sigma male does is based on a reason. So the fact that he does not want to socialize is only based on the good reason that it is a waste of his time. When the Sigma male keeps quiet, it is not because he can't talk if he wants to. He just does not see a reason why he should talk at that moment or to the people around at the time. It is that simple. There is a logical reason behind the behavior of Sigma men. So understand that first, and do not mistake this for a dismissal of the value of socializing. No, far from it. Sigma men understand the significance of human connections and the enrichment they can bring to everyone's life. However, they want their interactions to be valuable. And here we arrive at the heart of the matter. The unending hunt for wisdom and learning, which Sigma men are always after. They yearn for conversations that go beyond the superficial, for dialogues that spark intellectual fires and kindle the flames of curiosity. These minds have recognized that the value of time spent interacting with others magnifies when the interactions are meaningful. Number 2, they don't want to explain themselves. Sigma men are very different from your average Joe. This is why they are referred to as lone wolves. So their priorities and mode of communication could be very different from what people are used to. And you know what they say, people hate what they do not understand. In a lot of cases, people would hate on Sigma men just because they do not understand them. You can check my video on the reason why Sigma males are hated. This is a problem Sigma men have to deal with all their lives. They know it is a waste of time trying to explain themselves to everybody they meet. So the best thing to do is just to avoid scenarios where they would have to explain anything to anybody. You see, the Sigma man navigates life with a depth that the casual observer might fail to comprehend. His thoughts and the way his mind works are quite complex, and not everyone can understand it. He contemplates the universe's mysteries, dissects the complexities of human behavior, and ponders the nature of existence itself. People are likely to question why a Sigma man is keeping to himself. They could question why he thinks talking about Kim Kardashian is silly and a waste of time. Before you know it, everyone is looking at the Sigma male as an oddball. He does not mind being an oddball, but he does not want the stress of explaining why he is different. Number 3, to avoid vain people. Young man, you will meet different types of people as you journey through life, each different from the other. A lot of these people you will interact with one way or the other would be vain, petty, and folks that don't even understand what is important and beneficial for themselves. You will meet people who self-project their insecurities on you and think you care what they think. These are the folks who are focused on the reflection of their own self-importance, seeking validation from everyone and at every opportunity. They are the ones who measure their worth by the applause of others rather than the content of their character. Sigma men don't want to associate with such people. They identify them from a mile away and try to avoid them as much as possible. If a social situation would force a Sigma man to get into an unnecessary interaction with such a vain person, then it is likely that Sigma man would skip such an interaction. Vain people are never honest. They are as fake as a politician's smile during elections. They are always trying to project themselves as fantastic people, but they are not. You see people around you doing this a lot. Fake pictures, pretending to be rich when they are not, always talking about their vacations and how they went somewhere nice just to get you jealous. They would literally do anything just to get attention. Sigma men would rather be with very few friends that are wholesome and have genuine intentions, not a social gathering of fake and vain people just doing their best to get everyone's approval. People like this really annoy Sigma men, and they don't want to be forced into interacting with such people. Sigma men are attentive, and they see right through the pretense of these vain people. Number 4. They avoid confrontation. Just like lone wolves, Sigma men don't want to engage in any form of confrontation when it is avoidable. If there is any personality that loves peace and tranquility, it is the Sigma male personality. These men don't want to be involved in any drama or conform to the beliefs and expectations of people with overinflated egos that think they know it all. Sometimes when the Sigma male is quiet, he is actually disgusted by what he hears people say, but just chose to be quiet because he sees that it is hopeless trying to correct people who think they know it all. Arguments, disrespectful interactions, and ego-driven showboating are all to be expected in social situations. Most of the time, Sigma men would ignore these annoying behaviors, but why not totally avoid getting into the situation altogether? Sigma men don't want to have to deal with people who cannot be respectful or reasonable. They would rather be left alone than deal with such people. Sometimes social situations even lead to bad blood developing, where there would be misunderstandings and arguments degenerate into very heated situations. We all have seen this happen at one time or the other, where an argument is taken too far. Do you know why wolves would avoid fights? Because it is the smart thing to do. Don't think because the wolf walks away from you and avoids you, that it means it is weak. It could totally rip you apart, but no, he chooses to be smart. This is the mindset of Sigma men. If a Sigma man knows he would be interacting with people who are immature, he would rather avoid that social interaction completely than have to manage the situation. Sigma men are often deep thinkers that recognize that disputes and arguments often stem from differing perspectives, clashing opinions, and a failure to truly understand one another. Now here is the thing. People do not really want others to understand them. What they want is for people to just accept their own opinion. You don't believe me? Go on social media and see the amount of arguments and disagreements there. Not to even talk of hate speeches and self-righteous comments. This is not communication. All they want is just to force their own opinion on other people, and Sigma men would stay clear from such social situations. By choosing to avoid excessive socializing, these wise souls are not seeking to shut themselves away, but rather to preserve their own mental equilibrium and serenity. You see, my young friend, there's a remarkable strength in knowing when to engage and when to retreat. The Sigma man understands that every argument embarked upon isn't necessarily a battle that needs to be fought. He appreciates that sometimes, in the face of relentless disagreements, stepping back can prevent a situation from escalating into a war of words. It's not about conceding defeat or compromising one's principles, but about recognizing the value of one's time and energy. By conserving their mental and emotional resources, Sigma men are able to channel their energies into pursuits that truly matter to them. Isn't that a thought worth pondering? Instead of having to stand people who think they know it all, and everyone must agree with their views, the Sigma man just wants his peace, to be left out of any arguments, and conformity to what people expect. Number 5. Most conversations lack value. Son, think about it. How many of the conversations we have in social spaces are meaningful? The more you talk, the more empty it is. People would spend countless hours just talking about things that do not matter, and they actually expect others to listen. Everywhere you turn, there are voices chattering, words flying, and yet, upon closer examination, one often finds these exchanges to be lacking the essential ingredient of value. In a sea of small talk and trivialities, it takes a discerning mind to realize that most of these chatters are empty and worthless. Sigma men understand the worth of their time and energy. He wants every moment spent engaged in conversation should yield some form of enrichment, whether it be through the exchange of knowledge, the exploration of ideas, or the forging of genuine connections. Engaging in shallow dialogue can be draining for a mind that hungers for substance. They seek conversations that challenge their intellect, broaden their horizons, and ignite their passions. Remember that the Sigma male is not antisocial. The only problem is, not many people can connect with Sigma men at their level, and not all interactions are beneficial to these men. While we do call Sigma men Lone Rangers, it is not entirely true. They would relate with their closest friends that think alike. Being genuine, logical, and respectful is a must for Sigma men to socialize with others. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and watch this one as well. Thanks for watching.